you're watching this video, hit the like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me from where you're hearing my story. I want to know how far it's reached. Hello, dear friends. My name is Clara Mendoza and I'm 40 years old. I'm a weaver from Santa Fe, New Mexico, where the desert air hums with the scent of sage and the turquoise skies stretch over adobe homes. For 15 years, I've woven blankets and tapestries, my hands threading stories into wool, each piece sold at local markets to stitch together a life of quiet purpose. But for too long, I carried a heavy grief, the loss of my sister Anna to cancer 3 years ago, that made me feel unworthy of joy, as if my heart had unraveled like a poorly spun thread. Tonight, I want to share how a single act, joining a community project to weave blankets for a women's shelter, wove me back together, teaching me that self-worth comes from giving, not perfection. This is a story of loss, healing, and the power of small acts to mend a broken spirit. So, grab a mug of tea, settle in, and let me take you through my journey. I grew up in a small adobe house on the outskirts of Santa Fe, raised by our parents Sophia and Luis, who ran a diner filled with the aroma of green chili and laughter. Anna, my younger sister by 2 years, was my shadow, bright, bold, always singing while I wove my first clumsy blankets on a hand-me-down loom. We'd dream under the desert stars, me wanting to weave art that touched hearts, her aiming to be a nurse who healed them. But at 35, Anna was diagnosed with breast cancer, and within 2 years she was gone. Her death shattered me. I blamed myself. Had I missed signs? Could I have pushed her to see a doctor sooner? Guilt wrapped around me like a heavy shawl, and I stopped weaving for months, my loom gathering dust, my heart convinced I didn't deserve joy. After Anna's death, I retreated to routine. I worked at the market, sold my old stock, and smiled through customers' compliments, but inside I felt hollow, unworthy of the praise. My parents had passed years earlier, and without Anna, I was alone. I'd never married, my brief romances fading under the weight of my shyness. At 37, I used $30,000 I'd saved from weaving, $50 here, $100 there, to buy a small adobe cottage in Santa Fe's Arts District. Its ochre walls, wooden beams, and backyard with a view of the Sangre de Cristo Mountains were my sanctuary. I set up my loom by a window, hung Anna's photo nearby, and filled the space with potted cacti and woven rugs. But the cottage felt empty, my grief a silent tenant. I'd sit at my loom, staring at blank threads, unable to create, whispering to Anna's photo, "I'm sorry I failed you." Last winter everything changed. I was at the market selling a few old blankets, when Rosa, a vendor who sold pottery, approached me. Her eyes, warm like the clay she shaped, held a quiet urgency. "Clara, we're weaving blankets for the women's shelter," she said. "They need warmth this winter. Will you join us?" My heart clenched, fear, guilt, doubt swirling. I hadn't woven anything new since Anna's death, and the idea of creating for others felt like exposing my brokenness. "I'm not sure I'm good enough," I mumbled, my voice barely audible. Rosa took my hand. "You don't have to be perfect, Clara. Just show up." Her words, simple yet profound, stirred something in me, a flicker of hope like a thread catching light. I agreed, though my hands shook as I dusted off my loom. That night I sat in my cottage, staring at a pile of wool, blues, reds, golds, colors Anna loved. I remembered her voice. "Give, Clara, always give. It's how we live." Tears fell as I began weaving, my fingers clumsy at first, the rhythm uneven. Each thread felt like a conversation with Anna, a way to honor her. I wove a blanket with patterns of desert sunsets, my heart aching with grief but also a strange warmth, purpose perhaps. Over weeks, I joined Rosa and other weavers at the market, our looms humming in a rented studio. We shared stories. Rosa's escape from a bad marriage, another's loss of a child. Their vulnerability cracked my walls, and I confessed my guilt about Anna. "You didn't fail her," Rosa said. "You loved her." Her words were a balm, soothing the raw edges of my heart. The day we delivered the blankets to the shelter was cold, the sky heavy with snow. The shelter, a modest building downtown, housed women escaping abuse or poverty. I clutched my sunset blanket, my stomach knotted with nerves. What if it wasn't enough? Inside, a woman named Maria, about my age, with tired eyes and a gentle smile, took my blanket. She ran her fingers over the wool, tears welling. "This feels like home," she whispered. "Like someone cares." My heart surged, joy, connection, a rush of worth I hadn't felt in years. Maria shared her story, fleeing a violent husband, starting over with nothing. Her courage mirrored Anna's, and in that moment I felt my sister's presence, urging me to keep going. I hugged Maria, tears streaming down my face, our shared pain weaving us together. That moment sparked a fire. I couldn't stop at one blanket. I organized weekly weaving circles at the shelter, teaching women to create their own. My cottage became a hub. Women gathered around my loom, their laughter filling the once quiet space. Each session healed me further, my guilt softening as I saw how my small act rippled. Maria wove a blanket for her daughter, her hands steady with pride. "You gave me this," she told me, her eyes bright. I shook my head. We gave it to each other. The circles grew, drawing volunteers, donations, even local artists who painted murals on the shelter's walls. My heart, once heavy, felt lighter, each thread of connection mending a piece of me. But doubt lingered. At night, I'd sit by Anna's photo whispering, "Am I enough?" The shelter's director, Ms. Alvarez, noticed my hesitation during a planning meeting. "Clara, you're changing lives," she said. "Why do you doubt yourself?" I confessed my fear, that my work wasn't perfect, that I wasn't enough to make a difference. She took my hand. "Perfection isn't the goal. Giving is. You're enough just by trying." Her words sank deep, a lesson unfolding. Self-worth isn't about flawless results but about showing up, offering what you have, however small. I thought of Anna, who'd given her all as a nurse, not because she was perfect, but because she cared. The project grew, and so did I. We raised $15,000 through a community craft fair, enough to buy looms for the shelter and fund a mobile weaving workshop for rural women. I spoke at the fair, my voice trembling but clear, sharing Anna's story and mine. "Weaving saved me," I said, tears in my eyes. "It can save others too." The crowd applauded, their warmth wrapping around me like a blanket. I started weaving again for myself, creating tapestries of mountains and stars, each one a step toward forgiving myself. My cottage, once a silent refuge, buzzed with life. Women weaving, kids playing, neighbors dropping off yarn. Maria became my friend, her laughter a reminder that connection heals. One evening, as we wove under string lights in my backyard, Maria handed me a small woven square, its pattern a mix of my sunset design and her own. "For you," she said, "for giving us a home." I cried, holding it, feeling Anna's love in every thread. I hung it by my loom, a symbol of my worth, not perfect but enough. The lesson was clear. Giving, even imperfectly, builds your value stitch by stitch. It's not about erasing pain but weaving it into something beautiful. Now at 40, my life is a tapestry of purpose. The shelter's weaving program serves 50 women, and I'm planning a second location. My cottage is a haven not just for me but for a community I helped create. I weave daily, my hands steady, my heart full. Grief still visits, but it's softer now, a thread in my story, not the whole cloth. Anna's photo smiles at me, and I know she's proud. I've learned that self-worth isn't found in being flawless, but in giving what you have, your time, your heart, your hands. That's the real magic of living. Did you feel my story, friends? I'm sharing it from Santa Fe, where my loom sings under desert stars. Where are you listening from? Let's meet in the comments. If this tale inspired you, healed a piece of your heart, or made you think, your support means everything. A kind word or a super thanks keeps these stories weaving. Check out more on my channel and don't forget to subscribe. With love and light, Claire.